I just wanted to make another Qadir video because this whole situation is really overwhelming me. I feel so like constricted and anxious. I'm like a wreck because of his situation, and it's not even got anything to do with me. You know, I'm all the way over here minding my business, but everything Qadir is going through and how he's dealing with it and how he's being so irresponsible and how he's like trying to create a hate train against everyone who's trying to help him and who could possibly help him is making me a nervous wreck. I can't explain why exactly, but it's kind of like to be 2 years out of COVID. That was hard for all of us, and to like, we're all trying to get our lives back on track. And I, before COVID, went through a really hard time where I wasn't leaving my house. I just had my curtains drawn and I was just like Uber Eats singing every day. Like I was going through a rough time. And back then I was in school. So I was just using my like student finance to just like order food in every day. I was not in a good place. And then for COVID to happen, like as I'm trying to pick myself out of that, it kind of made me getting up like more of a stumble. It made it really hard for me. And then finally all of that's gone and I'm finally getting my life together. I have my curtains open, I'm drinking my water. Do you know what I mean? I'm going outside, I'm working, I'm doing all the things that was a struggle for me to do a few years ago. And then to witness Qadir's life falling in the other direction, it's hard for me to see. I know like as Dirt Queens are meant to like kiki and laugh and everything's meant to be fun, but I'm not finding this fun right now. It's worrying. I'm trying to see the light of it, and I see a lot of Dirt Queens are also trying to help Qadir, but you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. And I don't like looking at him. Like watching those last few live streams have been so creepy. It's so creepy because he uploaded one where it seemed like we were seeing some humanity in Q, right? It was like he was kind of breaking down. He was crying towards the end, and it was like he almost kind of saw like that this is make or break, like he could lose everything. And it's like towards the end I saw some like some like humanness, and I thought that was good. And then it was like he got a call from some kind of lawyer or attorney, and that switched off. Like the crying instantly stopped, and he just went like, and it's like, was that fake? That was creepy to watch. And then like the live after, instead of actually trying to get himself together, get his story together and organize a plan, he's just trying to like shit on his brother and tear his brother down. The one person who's actually trying to help him, instead of being honest about the situation, he's just lying and trying to shame someone who could tell the truth and present him in a less than godlike manner. It's like, it's scary to watch how like narcissistic and like psychopathic, like for me it's coming towards psychopathy. It's really scary. I did not start watching Qadir for all of this mess, and yeah, he's always been messy, but this is actually on a different level. I never thought it would get this bad. And what I'm really trying to get at is like, I just need some time off from Qadir because it's scary. And he kept saying in that one live, I'm telling you the whole truth, I'm telling you the whole truth, I'm telling you the whole story, when everyone knows you're not. Everyone knows that you're a pathological liar. Everyone knows that your story is never the whole story or the true story. You're not fooling anyone. No family member, Dirt Queen or fan believes you. You're only fooling yourself. And it's scary to watch this man self-destruct, and now he's using this church thing to distract when he needs to be like getting his shit together and like working out, what are we going to do? Where can I put this house that has so much junk in it? Like he needs to have one big yard sale and get rid of like 2/3 of that stuff and then put the valuable stuff in a sibling's. I don't know, he needs to be thinking like that. Instead he's learning 11 songs. So for me right now, I can't consume Qadir, and I need to take some time off. At least a few weeks, at least the rest of May. I didn't watch the live stream he did yesterday about, oh, church was so good. I saw it, I didn't watch it, I can't watch it right now. It's like my heart is beating like a rabbit, and I'm a nervous wreck because of his situation and his lack of maturity, and his dealing with it so badly is making me a nervous wreck. So I need to like self-preserve and not watch him for a little bit. So I just wanted to make this video just to get out some last things, because this may be the last video I ever make on him. You know, I probably said that before, but just in case this is, I just want to get some stuff off my chest, because this situation is nerve-wracking. He could lose his home in a matter of months, and he's not being serious, and he's more concerned with public perception, people perceiving him as like this godly child of God, and just making anyone who could say otherwise seem like a bad person, even if they're trying to help him. Like, the way he treats his siblings is so bad, when it seems like in adulthood they really do try and help him. Even if they had bullied him in childhood, like, they're actually trying. It's not fair. The way he treats people, it's not fair. The way he talks about us Dark Queens, it's not fair. And we don't need to send emails or DMs or any of that stuff. I never did that stuff, but we don't need to do that. It's a shit show on its own. And I do think PMP are trash, but he's also trash as well. He really thinks that like someone's gonna wave their magic wand and like just pay everything off for him. I know this is gonna sound bad, but I think it makes sense for him to lose the house. For me, something about it feels just and fair. Something about it feels like it makes sense. Like, there's a saying like, as you make your bed is how you lay in it, and I feel like he's made his bed of like being irresponsible and not trying and not paying and just being entitled. I don't think he should be a homeowner. I think him losing his house makes a lot of sense, and I hope he does. I hope he does. This house has done nothing good for him. It's like a trauma for him. He doesn't grow. He's stunted. He doesn't look after it. He doesn't respect it. He doesn't honor it. Like, so I hope he loses it. And even if somehow the courts are able to like rule in his favor so where he doesn't lose it, I think he should give it away or sell it. Or, that's what he's planning to do, which is what he said he wouldn't do. That's in his best interest. I don't think he deserves to have that house. He doesn't know what to do with it. It's not even in his name, you know. For his brother spilled all the tea and made it make sense, because Quadir's story never made sense. You know, usually I have like a big script. I literally have like 4 bullet points, because I just wanted this to be raw. Like, I don't have pages and pages and pages of like stuff. I just want to get all of this out there, because it's so crazy. I don't know, I feel it's just such a weird situation, like, and I don't like watching it. It's just watching someone self-destruct and go deeper and deeper and be in denial of it and think he's rising and he's got this opportunity to praise God or whatever, when he's really falling. You're not fooling anyone. It's distressing. Like, it's like a mini trauma for me, you know. So I hope he loses his house. I know that sounds bad, but it just doesn't make sense, him owning this house. He's not fit to be a homeowner. I want to talk about his mum, another touchy subject. Last time I spoke about his mum, I got so much hate and so much like people calling me out and saying I was wrong for that, but I have to say this. Even though I said I wouldn't speak on his mum again, it's not really, I said I'll speak on Quadir regarding his mum, like how he thinks about his mum. So it's not really about her, but I do have to say this. I don't think he loves his mum. I was thinking about it and I actually came to this conclusion a while ago. This isn't even that new. Like, it's a live stream he did last year where I realised he does not love his mum at all. He does all this, Sabrina! Like, he does all this stuff performatively, but deep down he does not have respect for that woman. And I'll tell you why. He was telling this story about his childhood and how hard he worked as a kid, editing videos, making videos, and how his mum's the only person who knew how much time he took and would hear him in his room and blah blah blah. So it's just like typical, oh, my mum, she knows me, blah blah blah, I'm too nice, blah. And then in this story he said something to the effect of, my mum told me to go to bed. And I was like, well, if that's your mum and you love and respect her so much, then just go to bed, right? Because this is when he was a kid. He was like 17. And he was like, oh, I would argue with my mum and I would tell her, no, I'm not going to bed. If these other kids don't have to go to bed, if my step siblings don't have to go, why do I have to go to bed? And it just irked me because it's like, for him to act like he revered his mum so much and just loved her so much, it's like, that's the example of your love you give up to your mum, is you answering back and comparing yourself. And then I thought it was like, because he was talking about how hard he used to work, I thought he was saying like his mum would like tell him to go to sleep and like to get rest because he's so tired. I mean, so to not overwork himself, but he said he just wanted to watch TV. He was like, oh, those other kids get to watch TV, dad's children get to watch TV, how come I don't? Like, so he just wanted to stay up to watch TV. And he disrespected his mum and his answering back. And I'm not like that person, but it's like, in 1 minute it's like, you love her so much, I would never say anything bad about her. Next minute you're telling a story about how you blatantly disrespected her, and like, but that's just a small thing. Every child probably answers back a little bit. And then the next example, he's like, oh, when I was in my room, yeah, obviously my mum would like hear me swearing at her, or hear me swearing at the camera, but I'd never swear to her. And then he goes on to be like, oh yeah, I got so angry at my mum that I swore at her. So it's like, and now it's like, again, you're saying in one breath, oh, I respect her so much, I would never swear at her. In the next breath, you're like, actually, no, I got into an argument with her, and I did swear at her. In one breath, you're saying, oh, I love my mum so much, I listen to her, and when she tells me to rest because I'm working too hard, I do it. In another breath, you're like, oh, when she tells me to sleep, I don't go to sleep because those other kids don't, and I want to stay up and watch cartoons, like, and watch TV. It's like, so what? And then it's like, the next example, because I was just trying to like rationalize it in my brain and just still think, oh no, he loves his mum. Then he's like, oh, me and my dad, I don't know if it's a dad or a stepdad, but me and my dad got into a fight. I think it's a stepdad. Me and my stepdad started fighting, blah, blah, blah. And then my mum came in and tried to get in between us and stop us. And he did it again where he's like, oh, I would never. I think that's where he actually swore at his mum, which he said he'd never do. But he was like, I would never hit my mum. I love her so much that I would never hit her. So I was punching and making sure the punches weren't hitting her. So his mum's come in the middle of the fight and said, stop. He hasn't listened to her, which he never does. Every example he gives is him disrespecting her and not listening to her. So then he's like, oh, yeah, I made sure the punches weren't hitting her. I was trying to dodge her because I love her so much. And then he was like, oh, but then I accidentally knocked her to the ground. So what do you do to show you love her? Everything you say you do that shows, oh, I love her so much, you retract, you go back on, like, and you end up, so you hit this woman to the ground, and you're like, oh no, mommy. It's like, but at that point I'm sitting and it's like, you've given like 3 or 4 examples of ways that you supposedly respect your mum and things that you would never do, and then 2 seconds later you do the very same thing. You say you won't answer back, you do. You say you would never swear in her face, you do. You say you would never hit her or knock her over, you did. And at that, I walked out of that live feeling weird, like very weird. This is what I'm trying to say, like Quadir makes me feel very weird these days. It's not like this fun guy who's like a bit messy or a bit temperamental. Now it's like, I really think this man is like sick. He has some kind of personality disorder, like, and I thought it was NPD, but it might be like, he might be a psychopath or something. Like, I just need to take some time off him. It's not healthy to be consuming him so much because he's going live so much. I need a break. I need, like, because we don't watch YouTubers for them to cause us stress. And I'm being caused stress. And that's partially me because I know I shouldn't be. Because he's just some YouTuber far away. But I just, in a way, we've all become very invested in his life. That's the content. That's what the content's been for the past few years, like keeping up with Quadir, and it's a bit unhealthy, but at least for me and the way my life's gone and what I've had to overcome and where I'm going, it doesn't make sense for someone who I looked up to be falling so much, and I'm actually getting my life together. It's making me go, like, it's making my, it's causing me stress. Like, I feel it in my heart. This man doesn't respect his mum. He says he does. He doesn't respect anyone. He doesn't like anyone. Someone posted this nice paragraph in Lipstick Alley about how Quadir doesn't care about any of his fans. He doesn't care about God. All of this stuff about I love God, I love my mum, it's all a sham. He doesn't care. He's actually a really trash person, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, I would never get at someone for having a personality disorder, or for having BPD or ADHD or any mental thing. It's like, at your core, are you a good person or a trash person? And at Quadia's core, underneath him being bad at maths or having traumatizing experience, at his core, he just seems like a really, really ugly person. And I just can't deal with it right now. Like, it's not good. It's not good the way he treats people. The way he even treats his fans. Remember when Mike was like, oh, the Dirt Queen videos were fun at first, but now they're boring. And he went on Mike for like 30 minutes, like just went off on him. And it just didn't stop. And Mike had to like grovel and beg and play his music in his car and in his story and just do all this stuff to like be a minion and get back in his good books. There's no respect for anyone having an alternative opinion. You know your fans love our content. They love Dirt Queen content. They stalk the I was gonna say the Shade Dream. They stalk Lipstick Alley. Oh well, they're still your fans. They still give you money. They still support you. They like, they retweet, all the things. You've got so much support over the years and it's never enough. You just spit in everyone's face. And I just need a bit of peace in my life. You know, and it's not to say I won't come back. I trust Bootlegs and stuff will keep the receipts for me. I'll come back and check on stuff, but space, I need time. I need this to not be part of my life, but a good month or few months, I don't know, a few weeks at least. I'm glad I came back and I made the content that I'd been wanting to make, because that was just a fun thing for me and for us, like just to have like that. You know, it was an idea I had and it was just fun to realize that. And it's always like therapeutic to air out my thoughts as like on Quadira and stuff, because for so long there was no room to. But I think I just need to like just like dead it for a little bit, or indefinitely.